I went on to ask Roy what his opinion was of psychics and mediums, people who he frequently has on his radio show.
I think that the vast majority of people that claim to have a psychic ability fall into a number of categories really. One, they're lying, or two, they're self-delusional in that they believe what they're saying is true. They believe that they're communicating with people, if you like, from beyond the grave, or they're seeing visions of the future. There is within that a very, very small percentage of people who I'm not going to turn around and say undoubtedly are communicating with the dead or can see into the future, but they certainly warrant further investigation. They certainly have more credibility than the masses. I have had a couple of readings, if you like, from people that were particularly accurate, a lot of personal information, and I'm not talking about generalisations like you're going on a long journey or you're not been feeling so good and finances haven't been. I'm not talking about that. Pretty specifics. For example, one of the funniest ones that I remember was a lady by the name of Mary White, who I've always held in high regard on this. She rang me one day for something, and I was in a bit of a state really, because I was wanting to go somewhere. I'd lost my car keys, couldn't find them anywhere, and I said, well, come on, psychic, you're meant to be in a position where you can tell me where my car keys are. And then she went, yeah, you've left them in the attic. I said, why would I have put my car keys in the attic? I said, I am seeing the attic, I'm seeing your car keys, and they are next to a black set of drawers. Well, we had a black set of drawers in the attic, and I went up, sure enough, right in front of them, on the floor. Car keys were there. That was just one example. She said a lot of other things, personal things, that seemed to be particularly accurate, and I was always quite impressed with her. But for the most part, psychics and what have you generalise, where I've got the name F, somebody with the name F, is it Freddie, Fiona? You generalise too much with it, and I don't like psychics that constantly keep saying, do you understand what I mean? Can you take what I'm saying? I mean, that is almost like you're asking for an answer there, and it's allowing the psychic to move on. So, in conclusion on what I'm just saying there, to round it up, I would say 99.9% of them are either self-delusional or lying. It's that 0.5% or that 0.1% that I'm interested in.
Speak Hall, Liverpool. A lady we know as Mary, who dwelled here or either worked as a maid here, is said to have killed her son before taking her own life. She'd done this rather than face up to her husband's massive debts. Mary is said to have manifested once during a massive dinner party. The majority of guests watched in horror as she disappeared through a wall. Other people have reported the sound of children crying in the night. Quite a sad thought really, isn't it? Spirit children, ponder food for thought. Nevertheless, it's a beautiful place, but I don't think I'd like to spend the night there, would you? Roy, tell us about the night you were doing a phone in with a psychic and a lady rang in from Preston.
So what it was, again, I was with Mary White, the lady I just mentioned there. We were doing a show, a radio show where people could phone in and get readings, the kind of stuff. And a lady had contacted us, and she said, I would like you and your medium to come to my house. She had this 500-year-old house on the outskirts of Preston. And I said, what's the reason for that? And she actually said that she was being molested by a ghost, which I found quite amusing, really. So we went to the house. It was late. It was literally 2:30 in the morning, because I'd finished the show. We'd gone straight from the show. We went to the house. Beautiful, beautiful house. She showed me a picture of a man looking through the window, and I thought, that's just a picture. It just looks like a picture. I said, no, there was no one there. It was a ghost. He disappeared. And I thought, right, okay. So I took a couple of video cameras with me because I wanted to record the event, and it was a square room, bedroom, where she was having these problems, if you like. I put one camera in the corner and one in the other, and we conducted a séance. It went on for about an hour. I started getting tired, and eventually I said, look, I want to call this a day. I can't go any further with this, I'm too tired. Took everything away, all the equipment. A couple of days later I decided to watch back the footage, and I noticed at one point I could hear the name Michael. I could hear it. I thought, did I just hear Michael? Played it back, and sure enough it was there. Now my first thought was, is there residual audio on the tape? Has it been recorded over again? It wasn't. It was a brand new tape. Secondly, the other camera had also picked this up. Both of the video cameras had picked this audio up. I was there at the time and I know it never happened. I never heard it. None of the other people that were there heard it. If somebody would have been faking it to get it recorded, we would have heard it. Nobody did. It's a very bizarre sound, as you will hear. It kind of comes in on an echo and it goes out on an echo. It happens twice. Once it says Michael and the other time it says Mark. These were both names that the medium picked up on, and they also were both the two names that the lady whose house we were in actually referred to. She said, these are the names that I'm getting. That, out of all of the things that I've done, has been probably the most compelling aspect of any investigation I've done, and I've done many of them, and for the most part nothing happens, but that one makes me think you have to keep going on, you have to keep looking and seeing whether or not there's anything more within this particular subject. You'll have to keep getting that out. I haven't got the Michael one with me, I don't think. I'll play it again for you, this is it. Do you hear that then?